Today, I want to share with you how you can coach the three different types of performers, namely the top performers, the mediocre or average performers, and the poor performers. See, as an OKR coach, right, we constantly need to deal with these three different types of performers, don't we? I just wish that we could just need to coach the top performers all the time, but in reality, that's impossible. So what you're going to learn here is to understand the three aspects of coaching, the three different types of performer. First, it's about your belief, your mindset, and your perception about these performers. Second aspect will be how are you going to coach them? And the third aspect will be how much time you want to spend on them. See, as an OKR coach, you have a great opportunity to shape the experience of those of your team. You are in a perfect spot to find out what makes them tick, possibly impact their growth, and open up the road ahead of them so they can do their best work. To do that, you need to realize the needs of different performers because different performers require different kind of touch. So that's why we have this saying, different strokes for different folks. For example, the top performers would like to be treated and coached differently. It doesn't work when you use a one-size-fits-all kind of coaching strategy to all three different types of performers. I used to coach a lot of people in insurance, in property, or in sales, and the way I coach the top performers and the poor performers are different. The question I ask is different, and the focus of our coaching conversation is different as well. So it is important for you to recognize the various needs of your performers. Then you are in a better position to coach and to guide them to achieve the key results, to achieve the objective and key results. The benefits of using different coaching approach on different types of performers include: first one, it improves the performance significantly by building people's capacity to resolve their own issue. The second one would be it builds their emotional intelligence and makes them more self-aware and motivated. Third, it increases confidence, belief in self, and higher morale. Fourth, it provides clarity of purpose, either clear goals and provided focus. And the fifth one, it improves awareness and insight, self-analysis of strength and what works. And lastly, it instills greater trust in leadership. Now, how do you coach the three different types of performers? Now, let's examine the mindset or belief you have on your performers. Regardless of their performance, here are the empowering beliefs that you should have on your performers. You got to think that they want to be better or improve. They want to contribute to something meaningful, and they want to be recognized. So these are the empowering beliefs that you should hold in your mind, right? So having these empowering beliefs are helpful as it allows us to look at our employee as wholesome, someone who are capable of solving his own problems. These powerful beliefs also reduce our biases and judgments. Now, how are you going to coach them? Managing your top performers should be no sweat, right? After all, they are delivering results and exceeding targets. But don't think you can just get out of their way and let them excel. They require as much attention as everyone else. So how do you keep them excited and motivated about their work? For top performers, you can do 4 things. First, always offer regular positive feedback to them, but don't go overboard. Okay? So acknowledging their contributions. Second one, listen to them, hear them out, right? Demonstrate trust and build relationship. The third one, ensure they are sufficiently challenged in the job. And lastly, offer autonomy. Don't micromanage. All right, so these are the 4 important facts, the 4 important points. Now, here are some of the questions that you can also ask your top performers. What went particularly well? How did you do that? What helped you to do that? And what skills or strengths were being used? And of course, there are so many other questions that you can actually ask these top performers. Now, how do you coach the average performers? Average performers are those who are coasting along and doing average work, always leaving the office on time, not delivering anything over and above what is expected, and stubbornly refusing to excel. And also their apparent lack of investment in the job can give you a hard time to deal with. For average performers, you can do 3 things. First, set clear goals. Help them to break them down in smaller goals. Ask them what matters, all right? To find out if there's an underlying and solvable motivation problem that can transform them into higher performers. Appreciate, acknowledge, and reward their good work. Here are some of the questions you can ask the average performers. Now, it's never easy to manage poor performance at work, and it can be frustrating and stressful. Don't let poor performance continue for too long. Avoiding difficult conversations and letting critical issues remain unresolved will impact the morale of the team, lower productivity, and reduce the quality of work. For poor performers, you can do 5 things. First, create a safe space for them to speak their mind. Have tough coaching conversation. Be honest and direct. And the third one, establish a clear follow-through process. And the fourth one, document each step. And lastly, consider performance improvement plan, or we call it PIP. Here are some of the questions that you can ask Here are some of the questions that you can ask for the poor performers, including how are things going with you? How are you coping, right, with a specific situation? And suppose things could be better, right? How would you like it to be? All right. Of course, you can continue to ask all these relevant questions to the poor performers. Now, let's explore the third aspect of coaching, the 3 different types of performers, which is the frequency of coaching and the amount of time for each type of performers. For the top performers, coaching should be frequent enough to nudge them into taking corrective action, but not so frequent that it is perceived as controlling and sapping their initiatives. It is advisable to spend more time building relationship and trust with this group of performers. As for the mediocre performers, less feedback is needed because they have displayed reliable and steady behavior and know their tasks. But don't overlook the fact that positive feedback can be a great motivator for them. Do spend enough time with them to maintain a good working relationship. As for the poor performers, feedback should be frequent and very specific. And the connection between acting on the feedback and negative sanction be made specific. Let them know the consequences of their behaviors and action. The way we handle the poor performers will be more or less the same like we deal with the people who fall into quadrant 4 in the doom loop model, right? Except that people in this quadrant may have the attitude issue. As to how much time you want to spend with this group of performers, well, the trick is as they improve their performance, the more time you spend with them. The above ideas can be good reference when dealing with the 3 different types of performers. Every company is different and every situation is different due to the different culture, employees makeup, diversity, and other elements that make each organization unique. What works in this situation may not work in another situation. So you really have to test things out. Thus, you need to continue to learn different ways of managing the performance. In other words, you need to improve your own performance too. Successfully holding difficult conversation and managing poor performance is a learned skill that you can develop. And I want to wish you all the best in that. And my last suggestion is do more of what works.